Bonjour, bonjour. How's it going? Okay, let's see what the framing's like. Oh, ho ho ho! I always push around for snakes, never see a snake. However, at this moment there is a snake here. Okay, get out, little guy. Just a wee one. You just never know, right? Just because a snake is small, don't mean that it ain't of risk. I'll just put you up here. Where are you now? Go away. I'm not hitting it, I'm just clearing the brush. Because just so you know, just because a snake is big doesn't make it more dangerous necessarily. Although, if it ain't... Wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, I dropped the camera. Yeah, so, just so you know, it's probably gone into his little hidey hole. But let's just make sure. Because some of the small snakes are like these... Well, this isn't one of them. I don't know this species, so I have to be careful. Like the green snakes with a reddish or brownish tail, they're not very big, but hooey, you need to look out for those, I'll tell you. They'll put you in the hospital, and worse, potentially. Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna roll the sleeves down though, just in case. I think we're good though. Okay. That's fun. Got a wee snake. How's our framing? A little crooked, eh? Okay. That's funny, I've seen a couple snakes in the last few days. Both quite small. Gotta keep an eye out for this little guy. Okay, that's good, eh? Yeah. Whew. Well, anyway. You don't wanna... It's funny, when there's a snake in your home, there is this primal instinct, I find anyway, I'm sure many people, and certainly people up here, there's a real primal instinct to kill it, right? And that's not coming out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm gonna tip this down a little bit. Okay, that might be better. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. So there's this really incredible primal... People go, oh, I would never kill a snake. I'm like, yeah, most people like live in cities and stuff and just have a theory on snakes, right? And whatnot. But it's a serious response to snake encounter. There's something very primal in it, I think, as humans. Well, anyway, I generally don't kill snakes. I killed a snake once. It was completely involuntary. There was a snake, I just went BAM with a rock. I was like, oh shoot, why did I do that for? It's like, oh right, my million-year-old self went, there's a snake, kill it. Poor little guy. Anyway, but that's the only time I've ever done that. Except I've run over a few on my motorbike, you know. What can you say to that one? Well, it's sort of a cloudy day. It almost feels like it could rain, but like it's dark clouds. And there's some glue over there. I don't think it'll rain, but it could. But generally speaking, the weather right now, like it's been for a lot of water walks. Oh, by the way, I think this might be water walk 65 or 69. I'll have to double check that. I made playlists on my YouTube channel because I just felt it was a little bit getting crazy because I have like 80 instrument videos and 64 or 68 water walk videos, then some miscellaneous hiking type videos. So you can watch them all if you really have nothing else to do. Anyway, they're more like a journal, like a video journal for me, eh? I don't really expect... It's nice when people comment on them and watch them. I certainly love that. But they're sort of an of-the-moment thing. But you can tell because I don't edit really. Really don't edit much. I just put them up. I'm going to call it cinema verite. How's that? Calling it like it is, in real time. Okay, let's have a look for that wee snake. Yeah, I think it's gone into his little hidey hole. And it'll stay there, he or she will stay there. Unless it's non-binary. I don't know. Do snakes have that conversation? Is there an Elliott page? I really didn't want to go here. But, what is it? Within the first few minutes I'm going there. Yeah. So, Elliott page. Anyway, I'm wondering if there's any snakes that, like, in their snake community go, I'm trans, and I'm non-binary too. You must respect my pronouns. I sort of doubt it, but you just never know, right? You just never know. I wonder if there's a snake Jordan Peterson. It's like, carry your load! You gotta carry your load! In the snake land. And there's a snake that sits around going, your rights are my responsibility. You got to carry a load. As humans, we need to have a task. Like, I'm making fun, right? But he's right. I don't care what anyone says, all the whatever, wokies, is that even a term? All the wokes in Canada. So there's a snake, Jordan Peterson. And then there's the woke snakes. That's probably not how it goes. You just never know. Yeah, so I'm like, oh, Elliott Page now. Yeah, so, okay, I just can't help it. Oh God, please don't hate on me. Yeah, so I read that, I'm like, oh, okay. Elliott, the old Ellen Page was gay, lesbian, a number of years ago. Came out, told the world, because the world pays attention to those types. Okay, well, that's cool, that's great. And then just in the last few days, has come out as trans, right? That's a very complicated subject right now. But anyway, all the best to him. And then I read on and go, and my pronouns are he, him, and they. I'm like, Jesus Christ, make up your freaking mind. Whatever. You can do whatever you want, really. It's a nice thing about the world, eh? We can call ourselves whatever we want. We can do whatever we want. And you can make fun of anyone as much as you want to. So I'm like, oh, trans, oh, that's a serious business. And then I saw the non-binary and went, oh, that's for show. But whatever, that's just my thing, right? I always think the non-binary thing is just, what do they call it? What is the word? Performative. Or not, I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Anyway, I have water. I got water. And I think maybe the best water I've ever tasted. I have to say, there's some really nice water when I lived in New Brunswick, out of a well, mind. And the water at my friends David and Heidi's, that was nice. It's a little mineral-y, like a little salty almost, but good water, really good water. Where else? I guess way up in mountains and stuff, and drunk the water. When I was younger, I'm gonna come up closer. Yep. Like when I was younger, and like up in the, I was up in the Rockies and a lot of northern Ontario. Yeah, I used to, I'm talking younger, like my mid-teens when I started doing this stuff, this wandering around the bush. Yeah, just like in Killarney, I just drank the water straight out of the lake. Stick the cup in the water, drink it. Then at some point, I started to be advised to filter it for giardia and stuff like that. So I guess I started doing that at, I don't know, my late 20s maybe? Because once someone says that, right? Once someone says to you, you need to filter the water, then your head starts getting into it and going, oh, because you don't know, you can't see it, you can't whatever. But anyway, I've always filtered my water since then, and mostly with no problems. Yeah, anyway, water. So what else have I read? Oh, there was a great Peter Wadham's chat, as always. If you're interested in hearing about Arctic ice and hearing from someone that's been there, like really been there, not just talking out of their ass, not just... I mean, I know quite a few people that, even if they've not been up there, have done some serious work and presentations and stuff. You know, I think of like Kevin Hester and Jennifer Hines and Guy McPherson. There's a whole, you know, Paul Beckwith. There's a whole bunch of that troupe that are doing wonderful work and like not giving up, hey? But really, if you want to hear someone, he's in his 80s. He spent decades and decades studying ice in the Arctic. So he's always an interesting person to look up and watch interviews with. And he's got the spirit, you can see the spirit of him is so beautiful, so kind, just gentle, and you know, that gentle and strong thing, right? Anyway, yeah, so there was a recent one with Stuart Scott, and Peter Wadham's that I watched, and yeah. What else? Oh, I guess it was Pompey, like the Trump. What is he? I don't know. Is it part of his, I want to say cabinet. Do they have cabinet in the States? I mean, one of his people saying, oh, they're looking forward to the no ice in the Arctic, so they can, you know, lots of oil and minerals and I guess transportation. Like, I think everyone, it was an Arctic conference, right? And I'm pretty sure everyone was going, what the hell? Anyway, ugh. Well, those guys are gone probably, so that's good. Not that the new guys will be any different, really, but yeah, one thing that Peter Wadhams did say that I found very interesting is, you know, there's a lot of talk about the Blue Ocean event. That's kind of a term that gets thrown around. And it's a great term, right? Because it's really visual and it's really easy to visualize, to take on. The white Arctic Ocean, the ice-covered white Arctic Ocean that reflects sunlight that has an albedo effect, all of a sudden is blue, reflecting the blue sky above. Basically, they say, oh, when the ice reaches a maximum, like, or a minimum of 1,000 square kilometers, then they'll call it the Blue Ocean event. Essentially, there's no ice left, right? Sounds like a lot of space, and it is, but in essence, that would be the ice is gone, at least for a short time. One thing is that even though the area of ice didn't actually reach a minimum this year, but the volume is
definitely lower than it was. So 2012, it hit this incredible minimum of area. But at the time, if you look at the various volume or thickness maps, you'll see a real difference in the thickness. You know, back then, it wasn't that long ago, right? 8 years ago. There was still multi-year ice, especially up north of the Canadian archipelago. And, 2, 3, 4 meters thick even. Now that's all gone, eh? Like, there might not even be 1 or 2 meter thick ice left. Certainly not in the summer. And what, by all accounts, many people have talked about, the ice that is there is very unstable and slushy. It's like it's not something you can walk along, really. Anyway, but Peter Wadhams was saying, we haven't reached, I'm paraphrasing, haven't reached the blue ocean event, but in essence, we've reached it. Do you know what I mean? So we're already there in terms of the knock-on effects, right? The feedback loops, positive feedback loops that will come from that aspect of the dark ocean absorbing heat and methane release in the shallow shells. They did. I kind of dropped out a minute. They were talking about one area. Was it the Bering Sea? I don't know. Anyway, where they thought all the methane had released, I think they said. Anyway, I have to go back and double check on that. But, yeah, very interesting stuff. Yeah. Yep. And what else is going on? There's the COVID. There's a lot of panic with COVID. In the West here, some women came over. They're working, Thai women, I think, were working in Myanmar. It's across the border to the north, and they snuck across the border, I guess, because to come into Thailand you have to quarantine, right? Legally you have to go into 14-day quarantine, even if you're a Thai national, I wouldn't think, but they just snuck through the border somehow, like probably over-land, right? Doesn't matter because they have a Thai identification. I mean, it matters, but so they ended up testing positive for COVID. I don't know if they're sick or anything, but anyway, it sounds like the government jumped on that pretty well, and I think the women themselves realized it, and at least one from Payao went to the government and said, oh, this blah blah, have it, I think. So anyway, but it seems quite under control and everything, and but a lot of people have cancelled vacations, right? Like up in Mekongpong, all of a sudden it's quiet again. All of a sudden there's lots of water flowing into the house from the tap. It's like gushing out. It's like, oh, yeah, my theory might be correct. Yeah, so I've heard from a few people that they've had cancellations for overnight stays and stuff. But one good thing I was very happy about is that this weekend we have in Chiang Mai a bunch of Kendoka comrades are coming up from Bangkok, and some high-level sensei too, right? It's going to be great. Anyway, we were wondering if I think they had a meeting about whether they should come, but they are going to come, so that's wonderful for us and for them. I'm sure we'll all have a great time. But we're going to practice Saturday and Sunday, one practice each day, and I'm sure they'll be intense and fantastic, and looking forward to practicing with them and learning. And I'm really also looking forward to seeing how they work with the kids, right? How the different people, of course, it's not just for kendo anywhere. People work differently, right? And so I find it really fascinating to see how people teach. And that's a big part of my life, is helping teach at Lana Kendo. Anyway, so that's all going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. And what else? Oh, one thing. This is a technical thing. For most people, I'm trying out a new shinai that kind of has an oval tsuka, which is the handle, right? Oval shape, a little reminiscent of an actual Japanese sword, right? So Japanese swords aren't round in the handle, like shinai is usually round, or typically. So I thought, I'm going to try this different shape, and I really like them. And what was interesting is, that my tendency, which is the grip, I guess you could say my tendency. I was thinking my tendency was pretty good. You know, I would say it's pretty good actually. How I use my grip and wrist and everything. Anyway, but I used this Shinai last to Monday. I went, oh, like all of a sudden a bunch of my men's strikes, which are the head strikes, were just a little bit off, right? Not right in the center. Like weirdly off, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that it's perfect all the time, but it's like, oh wow. So I had to really adjust it. And what it told me is, oh, in a subtle way, the way I was gripping the Shinai was a little bit off. Anyway. So, I shouldn't go on too much about this because, you know, I don't want to bore the hell out of everyone, but this is stuff that feeds my mind, right? How can I improve my tennis? How can I improve everything? It's a never-ending path, that's for sure. Anyway, so that's gonna be the weekend, and what else? Beautiful weather, cool in the morning, cool in the afternoon. Cool for Thailand, at least. A lot like a southern Alberta summer right now, I'd say. I guess that's it. I'm gonna pack up and get going, and maybe I'll do a little bit of walking video. Okay, 21 minutes already. Okay, and number 45 or 49. We'll have to think on that.
Okay, here we go. Oh, there's some interesting things going on in the water department. Okay. It's been interesting, the water. I think I might have talked about this last one, but we kind of, the house that I'm in and my neighbors, Tip and Pon, kind of diverted the water coming to our places. And I couldn't help them that day because I had to go to Kendo, but I donated some money and they could hire someone to take my place. Anyway, so far that's working really well. At least it's constant. It almost never just runs out, right? Like every now and then it's really low and sometimes it's really high. But anyway, that's a preamble to this. There's a interesting kind of pipe being laid. I'll show you what looks like will be the source. Okay, so you see this overflow here? Right there. That just gushes out of there, right? And the main pipe there goes to like the village where Peterson lives and where I live and where Kip and Pon live and have their homestay. But what's happened is they've laid this black pipe. And it looks like they're going to hook up to this overflow. And you see how it's going to fit there? The only thing is, I would think, is that there isn't always overflow, right? It's not always overflow. Like when it gets really dry, right? Like later, maybe March, April. Yeah. So you see this black cable? This goes all the way to where I end up meeting the road, to basically the homestays that are there. And also there was a blue pipe here and down the trail up on that hill a bit, and it appears that is gone. So it appears that blue pipe has been taken out. The internal political village political machinations, I haven't got a freaking clue as to how that ensued. Of course. See, here's the thing. I try to learn Thai language as much as I can. Like, I don't go to school or anything, can't really afford it, right? But I certainly ask a lot of questions, and Thailand's a wonderful place for doing that. I can ask anyone
sorry, excuse me, how do I say blah blah blah, and boom, they'll just be more than happy to help out. So as a country for learning language, it's great for that, because you know, Kon Thai Jai Di. Thai people have a good heart in general. And anyway, so but I am kind of interested about what's going on here, and there's been more than a few times when I've been hearing little, what would you call them, little inklings in my ear about sort of internal politics within the village. And more than a few times I thought, oh, I'm actually quite happy that I don't really understand what's going on. Because you see, I can't get pulled in, right? I'm just sort of nice to everyone, everyone's nice to me. Even though I'm an outsider, as I've mentioned, I don't really mind that, because I've kind of been that way for most of my life. Anyway, just a little bit. Nothing serious, not bitching and moaning about it. It's just a fact of things. So yeah, so this is interesting to me. I'm like, I wonder. So then I run through scenarios of how that might have been. What could have been, you know, you can't use our water, you're draining all our water for your homestead, whatever, I don't know what it was. Or maybe it was a decision on their part, do you know what I mean? Who knows? Anyway. Yeah. What else? Something else I was gonna say. Shoot. Water. Village. I don't know. I can't remember now. It was going through my brain while I was just talking. In one ear, out the other. Or didn't even come in an ear. It was in my brain. Out it goes. Okay, well, I'll step out, and if I think about it, I'll check in again. And if this is where I check out, hope everyone's doing great. You have nothing to fear but fear itself. Anyway. You know, happy to see that the government hasn't freaked out and done a big lockdown here because of these COVID cases. Like cases in quotes, because I kind of feel like cases should be not people that test positive necessarily, because it's nebulous, it seems, but people that are, you know, truly affected in some way, even minor symptoms and stuff. Whatever, however they do that, that's their business. Yeah, so anyway, I hope everyone's doing okay. I know there's certainly loads of people that are affected seriously by this, both like health-wise, right? Like if you get it bad, it sounds bad, eh? But of course there's also this other stuff spinning around it, the economy, depression, all this stuff that flows around it. Anyway, so all my best to everyone. How's that sound? Alapushan. Until the next time, and yeah, talk to you soon. Okay, bye. Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery because look, you probably can't tell, but so there's all these pipes, and there's pipes here that are cut, and then these are cut too, right? Oh, but this one goes. So this one looks like it's okay. Well, that one's going down. I don't know what's going on. So there's this is the new homestay. Well, it was here for quite a while, but they're rebuilding it, eh? It's looking great. It's going to be really nice. And there's the water for it, I guess. And there's... Oh, may bên này chăm anh video, okay Mike? Chăm anh video, okay Mike? Okay, khóc không ca. Looking good, gang, huh? Chai. Okay. So that, I forget his name actually. He's helped me out with, I think he's Pizza Tam's nephew actually. He's a friend down the mountain a bit. And he's amazing. Like, he's like no one I've met lots of people. He's like people I've met in like farmers in Saskatchewan who can just do anything, right? Fix anything, build everything. It's how you do it, right? You just know how to do everything. Anyway, he's brilliant, and just so impressed by him. He's just, I could go on and on about it. And he's really nice. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I got cut off there. Some stuff about the electric bill. Anyway, so now I'm all confused. Anyway, yeah. So that fellow's such a amazing. Just wanted to point him out and sing his praises, you know. Anyway, so now I'm definitely quitting this video, number 45 or 49. And number 65 or 69. No, wait. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, ciao, alla prochaine, bye.